Peace and blessings, children of God. Peace and blessings. I'm in my car. It is freezing. It is like 13 degrees outside here in Nebraska. Yes, there's black people in Nebraska. I'm one of them. I have a topic that is very interesting. It's near and dear to my heart as well. I hear a lot of people speaking down and pretty much degrading and putting black culture, our culture down. They dislike our culture. They hate our culture. They speak extremely negatively about our culture. Now, one thing that I'm going to find hard to believe is that when people speak about our culture, they're not going to speak bad about us. So, can our culture and we as a people be separated? That could be arguable. I think it can, but I think it's extremely hard because I think that eventually you're going to go back to the people. I have a question. Who controls our culture? Who controls it? That's a very good question. Because if you have an issue with something, if I have an issue with a business and it's owned by a person, I'm going to go to the person that owns it and controls it. So when people say they have an issue with black culture, who do we complain to instead of just being small-minded and making ignorant comments that don't serve anybody or anything? Who do we complain to? How do we get things done? How do we go from blaming the people of the culture and blaming those who manipulate and control the culture? Because I tell you right now, I know for a fact that we as a people, we do not control our culture. We've lost control, or did we ever have control of our culture? That's a good question too. I think that in the beginning, our culture, we had a say. We had a majority vote in our culture. Initially, I think that if we didn't like something about our culture, we didn't patronize it. But now, I believe that our culture, and it has been for a while, our culture are in the hands of those who despise us. I think that our culture is in the hands of media companies, outlets, institutions, think tanks, record labels, and overall people who want to see us in an extremely bad light. So, with that being said, I think that we as a people need to stop patronizing certain things that don't serve us. If it doesn't serve us in a positive way, if it's doing us no good, if it's destroying us, then we should stop patronizing it. Because overall, it's making us look bad, and we complain about people complaining about our culture, but we have no way of correcting it because we have no control, right? Our music is weaponized. In my opinion, our music is to our detriment. I mean, if you look at the youth, our youth, because your youth if you want to know how our people are doing and what state they're in, you look at our youth. You look at the youth. The youth are gone. The youth are destroying each other. Because in the music, there's hate. Hate for oneself and hate for those who look like oneself. In movies, if you see a black man in a movie, then 9 times out of 10 it's going to be stereotypical. Either he's going to be ignorant, or he's going to be, you know, one of those people, if you know what I mean. I don't want to speak in code because I don't want to get this video taken down. So we have movies, we have music, and then we have history. Our so-called history is not our own, because we don't control what's being put in the history books. And we know that what's being put in the history books is not our story, it's his story. Those who have conquered, it's their story. It's how they want us to be viewed. So we have history, we have music, we have television, and then we have the image of the black man, the black woman, that are and the black children that are not controlled by us. We would love to see more of us doing positive things. You would want to see more of black people in a positive light, because if you ask other people, black people are inherently ignorant and negative and this and that. But unfortunately, when they get on their phones and they turn their TVs on, that's all that they see. They see us at our worst. They never see us at our best. And that is what keeps the perpetual negativity going in regards to us. So that's where you got your Candace Owens, your Hodge twins, your Jason Tatums. These individuals buck dance and bootleg and get paid very handsomely for it. But what they don't know and don't understand, I've said this before, is when the job is done, right? When the job is done, is over with, the mission is complete, like a loose end, they'll get rid of you. And that's what these individuals don't understand. But they'll understand by and by. And that's another thing. You know, other nationalities don't respect those who turn on their own. They may look like, they may act like they have some love and respect for you, but deep down, they don't. Because in their mind, if you turn on somebody that looks like you, you'll turn on me too. So there's really no respect there. So we have the black image that's not controlled. Where did we lose control of it? I say we lost control of it in the 70s, when all the black exploitation movies came out. That's when you saw the pimping, the hoeing, the drug selling. That's when it started. As soon as Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated, it was over with. It's like soon after that, you saw derogatory imagery, you saw negative, destructive imagery of black people perpetuated by Hollywood. And if you didn't know, those who control Hollywood are Ashkenazi Europeans. And I'm not going to say the J word because that may get me in trouble. And it's unfortunate, but this is YouTube and this is their stuff. So, we have Hollywood distorting the image and of black people. Then here comes the destabilizing of the inner city, creating the ghetto. Also, they create welfare state because they understand they've taken the economy away from the inner city where most black people are. So now here comes the welfare system. Then we taking the dads out the homes. Now the ghetto was created. Now the gangs are created, because you have police patrolling the ghetto and being inherently racist, beating up on kids and women, black children. Now you have the gangs that are created. Now these are groups of black men that are labeled gangs, because whenever you have a group of black people, it's going to be a gang, whether you like it or not. We didn't give ourselves that name, they did. Then you have drugs being pumped through our neighborhoods. So, not to get too far off in a tangent, but this all has to do with the culture and where it is now. Okay, so generation and generation and generation of destruction in our culture that's facilitated by those who have an extreme dislike for us, an extreme displeasure for us, who get off on seeing us destroy ourselves. So education is important. And I'm not going to get too far off into this video and get too far off in a tangent. And I'm going to bring it all the way back to when you want to know about black culture and why it is the way it is, you got to ask yourself who controls it, who benefits from it, and why. And I believe through the information I shared with you, you could come up with the solution or the answer to those things. So what's the solution? The solution is education. Educating ourselves. And also, another solution is we have to drop out. We have to unparticipate in things that don't better us. We have to say, you know what? We have to leave their toys alone and let them have it. And we have to stop buck dancing and stop selling each other out for money. Because if they don't have nobody wanting to play the game, then the game is over. So as long as we have people who are willing to buck dance, bootlick, and brown nose for a couple of coins, then, you know, we'll have this issue. But if we all decide to drop out and say we're not participating in anything that is destroying the image of us, then they have to strategize. They have to do something else. But we're just not going to be facilitators and participators. So, ma'am, sir, that is where we are in regards to our culture. Please like, please subscribe. I know it's dark, but I like speaking like this, and I like, you know, talking on my way home. It's therapeutic for me. So please like, please subscribe. I appreciate you all. Thank you if you stayed long enough towards the end of this video. Thank you. I appreciate you. To all my new subscribers, I appreciate you. You guys motivate me in a positive way. And I hope you guys stay blessed. And everywhere you go, take God with you and his son, Jesus Christ. Peace.